Coming off of the best season since 2017 and entering year 4 under Mario Cristobal, the Miami Hurricanes enter day 1 of ACC Kickoff with high expectations and also some pretty darn good players that Mario Cristobal has brought along with him here. It's Theo Dorsey. It's the Capital One Orange Bowl Media Tour presented by Duffy Sports Grill. And as we kick things off here, I want to start with this, Coach Cristobal. This 10-win season you had with the Canes, likely not everything you wanted out of the year, but now that you've gotten some distance from it, how do you gauge not just last season but the last 3 in Coral Gables?
Consistent progress. You know, for us, we've been very every single year we've gotten better. Every single aspect of our program, we know what we walked into, and how we had to massively upgrade the roster, the systems, the culture, and everything else. And last year we got ourselves pretty close to achieving one of our goals. We didn't get all the way there, but certainly getting into double-digit wins and entering the top 20 again was a big step for us. Nobody's satisfied. Everybody's hungry and ready to get it back to work.
Are there any moments from last year that kind of replay in your mind of, obviously, it's not a regrets thing, but more so like, man, if this one thing changes, we could have had a different outcome on the other side?
Well, I mean, you think every single team in America goes back, right? You self-scout. You look at the things you did well, things you didn't do so well. And you find ways to address it in every way, shape, or form, from a schematic standpoint, coaching standpoint, personnel standpoint, depth standpoint, strength and conditioning, whatever it is, and we certainly do that every single year.
Before we move forward to this year and the lovely guys you brought with you here to Charlotte, I kind of just want one more reflective question, because as I look out of Nashville and I see how the Titans media, the Titans players, and everybody have been responding to the impact Cam Ward has been having there, just how do you sum up what kind of dude he is and what he brings to a football team? Because I remember last year when I sat with you this time, you told me he plays the quarterback position like a linebacker, and it seems like he takes over the room like when you flip a light switch on. What is that guy like, and what are the Titans getting?
Well, the best part about him, he really couldn't care less about media. He couldn't care less about noise, hype, and all that nonsense. He just wants to win. And people feel that from him because the way he approaches his dailies is second to none. He's going to be a guy that's going to be aggressive. He's going to confront, demand the most of himself and his teammates. And then he's going to prove it on the field. He's going to get extra work in, and it's going to carry over to practice, and it's going to carry over to the game. So he's as impactful as a player as I've ever seen. And, the early feedback we get from out there is that he's having the same kind of impact. So I know the entire country's excited to watch him do great work out there with the Titans.
Mario Cristobal joining me, Theo Dorsey here from uptown Charlotte ahead of the football season, about 30 days out from kickoff. I know fall camp is around the corner. What is thing number one you want to address with this team as they enter fall camp and get ready for a season that, like I said before, has some lofty expectations over it?
Well, it's more than thing number one. I mean, when you go to camp, there's a series of things that you want to accomplish. And number one, you want to shut out the outside world, right? And you want to make sure during camp that you establish your identity, right? You really find out what you're really good at so you could do it really, really well, and what you're not good at so that you can find ways to get good at it or find another solution to the situation. You also want to make your culture more callous, tougher. You want to elevate the levels of culture. You want to master your systems. You want to improve technique, fundamentals, communication, ball security. So all those things come together in unifying and galvanizing a team. So the beauty of training camp is that the outside world is shut out and all focus is on the Miami Hurricanes.
For this week and specifically this day, you will be addressing a lot of media and whatnot. What about these 4 guys you brought with you, sold you on that idea? What's that process like, picking out the 4 guys who are going to represent the Miami Hurricanes at ACC Kickoff?
I don't pick any of them. I let the media pick them. I let Cam Gorby get feedback, who they want to see, and those guys get on the plane. Again, I just, these guys have earned the opportunity to put themselves in front of cameras and microphones. We have a couple guys that joined us 2 weeks from my arrival on campus in 22. And then we have a guy from our first recruiting class. One other guy couldn't make it due to a family obligation. And then we have a new arrival in Carson Beck. So it's an awesome blend, and it's very reflective of our football team.
How much are you trying to block out the Cam Ward, Carson Beck comps that people are trying to make, or going to be asking, I'm sure, Carson and yourself about all day?
I don't think you block out stuff. You just, is it really part of your process or not? I mean, distractions are distractions if you make them part of your process. So I don't. Everybody's different. I mean, last year at this time, Carson was the number one projection, and Cam Ward was a 5th to 7th round projection. So in football, you know what? Football always tells the truth, right? If you work your butt off and you put yourself in a situation where you've prepared really well, you're going to have your best chance for success. Carson has played high-level football, has played in extremely competitive games, and has played really, really well. And he's excited to be here. Not so much, obviously, part of it for himself, but the other part is he's part of a great organization, people that believe in him. So all in all, it's a great fit and a great situation.
What was it about Carson that sold you on the idea that he should be the next Canes quarterback, similarly to how you were sold on Cam Ward last year?
Well, we watched a lot of film, and certainly there's some crossover film that led us to believe that, number one, extremely competitive, played in high-level games, got a ton of experience, right? Off the charts smart, super high football IQ, really accurate, strong arm, can make every throw, great legs, could run, and is a team player and always has been. So he's a guy that we feel in our system has proven that, the right pieces around the quarterback can provide our organization with a great offense. So it did last year. And we feel like we're just kind of getting started offensively. We're really evolving and morphing into some things that we feel could really make us dynamic.
Offense definitely brings fans to the games and excites all. Defense, as we all know, wins championships. You made some changes on that side of the ball. Do you think those are championship-winning type changes? What's the defensive side that we're going to see differently? I
do. Last year we lost our way. We started the year great. Our first 4 games or whatnot. I mean, we were a top 5 defense. And, man, we allowed a few injuries to really allow us to just slide, like in a manner that we didn't do a good enough job, period. We didn't have enough depth in the secondary, but you still got to be able to manage that and find a way to get things done. So I think Coach Heatherman, not only has he proven it by taking Minnesota to becoming a top 5 defense, but his use of personnel and his ability to teach is what makes him different. Like, he's a great teacher. Like, this guy can flat out, like, in a room, tremendous presence, concepts, everything regarding technique and fundamentals. He can put it all together from the back end all the way to the front. So he's exactly what we needed and wanted, so we're lucky to have him.
What do you feel like you've learned about what New Age Miami is like? Because obviously you won your national championships back in the day as a player. You've been in and around the program. But now entering year 4, this has got to feel and act a bit different from what you remember back when you played. What has been one of the main things you've learned about the way in which the campus, maybe the fan base there, and even the football program interacts today versus what you used to be used to?
Well, I think it's almost like deja vu every place we've been. It's deja vu going to FIU when they weren't winning. It's deja vu going to Rutgers when they weren't winning. It's deja vu going to Oregon when they were 4-8. And it's deja vu being at Miami as a GA and when they were 5-7, where the starting point was low. And you had to buckle up and you had to go to work and just get everything and everyone out the way and work. And bring in the right people and develop and just don't stop, right? That's been the most important thing, and now we find ourselves climbing from 5 to 7 to 10 wins, and really, we're 9 points away from being able to flip that to an undefeated season. That's behind us. We don't want to talk about that. We want to go forward and find, okay, we went from an uncompetitive team to a competitive team to a 10-win team. We're not satisfied yet. That's not our goal. We want to be better. We want to go and take the next step. So all focus has been on that, and that's what we've been working on.
Does this team, so far from what you see, have the championship DNA that it would take to be the first one to make the 12-team playoff, be the first Miami team to win an ACC title potentially?
This team has unlimited potential, and I'll tell you why. This team's dominant trait is that it loves to work. You can't throw enough at these guys. And they handled all the work while still raking in, I guess, the number 1 ranking for community service and having the highest GPA our team has ever had. That's a tremendous balance. That's a will to want to be elite on all levels. And you are what you are 24/7. You can't be a so-so this and then be an elite that. I mean, you've got to be it 24/7. And I think our guys are really understanding that, and they're pushing themselves hard to take it to a new level.
You say that. Another one of your sayings that we overlap on that I love is how you do anything is how you do everything. I'm curious, though, like Coach Cristobal, if you weren't doing football coaching, what would be the number 2 thing that you would be doing to your fullest extent that you feel like you'd be thriving in? That might even be your post-college coaching career?
No idea.
So locked in on it.
Football, man. Football. It's family and faith, right? Obviously, church, God, number one. And, once, twice a year, I get a chance to go fishing, all right? So maybe one day way down the line, I'll have my own charter business, and I'll take you out and get you a bunch of fish down the Florida Keys.
There we have it. As long as you don't got to be on there past 8 hours. I got my stamina for fishing out there on the water.
We're going to fish like we do football.
Yeah.
It's going to be 2 hours of sleep and 22 hours of fishing.
Oh,
right?
man. See, that's not – I might not last, Coach. Curious for you, too, what is the standard you're setting for this team? I know you talked about the work you're going to throw at them. You took a huge leap last year. You feeling good about what you're going to set that watermark to be for this team going forward?
We are. It's always going to be that. I think what's clear to everyone inside the building, the expectations for ourselves, set upon ourselves, by ourselves, is always going to be higher than anything outside. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm a Cane, born and raised to be a Miami Hurricane, and got a chance to play on those teams, and just took everything out of the way to come back home and get Miami back to where it needs to be. And that being said, knowing the amount of work that has to be done, that's the best part of it. That's all I really, am focused on and care about. So this team and the things that have gone into building this team are exactly what we need to be doing and what Miami needs to be.
Maui Noah, curious for you on that end. Francis Maui Noah, you had the number 1 overall pick last year in quarterback Cam Ward. Mm-hmm. He seems like the kind of guy that is floating around a lot of mock drafts as a top 5 pick and whatnot. What is he going to need to show in this campaign? I know he still has more eligibility left, but to be projected as a guy that could be back-to-back Canes being picked number 1 overall.
Well, we've been very fortunate, man. Over the last 8 years in our programs that we've run, we've had 4 top 10 picks. I'm sorry. And guys like Francis and Ruben Bain and more guys out there, they have a chance to be that and more. Francis, you could probably see him from here. He's, 345 pounds with under 20% body fat. He's got the highest muscle density of any Miami Hurricane, and he's only going to be a true junior, so his best football is ahead of him. He's extremely smart, powerful. He's a game changer up front, and he could do it at all positions. So I think he's the best in the country. He's even a better human being. I mean, his involvement in the community, you wouldn't believe the amount of stuff he does, and his commitment to the service of other people in the community is incredible. So his DNA internally matches his output on the football field.
I thought it just came across my mind as you were talking about him, guys that are kind of entrenched in the Canedom there. Xavier Reynolds, I meant to ask you about him around the same time as Cam, but him being a guy that is such a beloved Cane, him being able to reunite with Cam in Tennessee, and it's funny, it feels like that 40-time thing kind of got in the way of what his draft stock would have actually been, but now it feels like it almost worked out even better because he's back with Cam Ward. What do you feel like that connection could be like in the NFL? How special was it for you as a coach? And, they're getting a gift there in Nashville, huh?
Well, I feel like in general, just our entire draft class and the guys that signed as undrafted free agents, it's a special class. I mean, I think we were number 6 in the country in terms of number of draft picks, and that's not even counting the undrafted free agents, and guys like Xavier Reynolds, guys like, we haven't talked about, Francis's brother, Kiko Mainoa up there with it. We had a lot of guys that are going to be unbelievable NFL players, and this will put it in perspective for you. The day we got the job, we went on the road recruiting, right? You spend the next couple months developing your football team. You go raise funds, speak at different donor events, right? I remember leaving a donor event in April. We haven't played a season yet. And the pilot is sitting on the runway because we have to wait and see if the 7th round is going to end and Miami didn't have a player drafted for the first time in, a million years.
Yeah.
And I was going to have to talk about it to the media. And luckily someone was drafted. So fast forward 3 years later, okay, we went from a late 7th round pick to a roster that had the 6 most players drafted, a ton of undrafted free agents, and even more promise over the next couple of years. Okay, that's the way football works. The starting point has everything to do with how you're going to build it, right? And then the track record that goes with that. And so that's what gets us really, really excited. From the players to the coaches, everything is on a trajectory that's not going to be stopped.
And then I'm curious, too, when you speak about that trajectory, a lot of that starts with recruiting. You're known around the nation as one of the most elite recruiters in general, one of the most elite builders of a program. Palm Beach County and the Treasure Coast, where we hail from with ESPN West Palm. A lot of good talent out there. We know about one kid that's committed. I know you're not allowed to necessarily talk about it, but how important is that area going to be to the future of the Canes program? Because there's a lot of fans out there and a lot of aspiring Miami Hurricanes wearing some of those uniforms in the 561 and 772.
There's no doubt about it. It's as important and as big of a priority as you can have. Think about this. You can get a $97,000 a year education, a private school education, in Coral Gables, Florida, all right, on a team that's working its way to becoming an elite football team again, where your family and friends could come watch you play every single weekend, or just about every single weekend. That's really hard to beat, okay? And so the better we do, the more affiliation and affinity we gain from, the public and from all these players that are growing up watching the Canes. It makes our bond with the community stronger, and therefore allows recruiting to sometimes take care of itself where guys want to be Canes no matter what. So certainly we can't talk about certain guys, but we're beyond excited.
Excited for us as well to have them staying homegrown, staying locally. That way we keep covering them as well. So keep doing your job on the recruiting trail, rooting for that, and good luck to the Canes this upcoming season, Coach.
Appreciate you, man. Have a good day.
You too.